Hello everyone, I'm back to playing Close by Sam with you. Today we have a medium one, so this is gonna be a quickie. I hope I don't jinx myself, but if you don't know what Close by Sam is, it is a daily logic puzzle game. We play this every day here on the channel, and in it there are 20 people. We gotta figure out who is a criminal and who is an innocent using the clues that they give us, and if you wanna play along, the link is in the description. I'm gonna start mine right now and explain my logic as I go so we can do it together. Maybe I can help you if you need any help. So we start with Aaron. So the first person on the board telling us that only one of the 3 criminals above Sia is Barrett's neighbor. So there's 4 people above Sia and 3 of those are criminals, which means only one innocent. And that innocent is gonna be neighboring Barrett, right? Because there's 2 people neighboring Brett, and one of those only is a criminal. So if one of 2 is a criminal, that means that the other one is going to be an innocent. So we tag them with the yellow tag to indicate that both of them are opposites. And we have 2 other people. Both of those have to be criminals, so we can have a total of 3 among the 4 people above Sia. And we don't need Aaron's clue anymore because we tagged these people. Now, Nancy says there's an equal number of innocents in columns B and C. We don't know about anybody in column B yet, so let's leave that there. Ruby says there are no innocents in column C who neighbor Jason. So Jason has one person neighboring him in column C besides Nancy, who is also a criminal. So that makes Carol a criminal because we're talking about column C. And since Carol was opposites with Jason himself, that makes him an innocent. Now, Carol says Vance is one of 4 criminals in column B. So now we know the total of criminals in column B, which means we know the total of criminals in column C, right? Because Nancy said there's an equal number of innocents in columns B and C. So that means there's an equal number of criminals as well. And 4 is that total. So we know we need a 4th criminal here in column C. That has to be Sia. Now we don't need Nancy's clue anymore, I guess. Carol says that Vince is a criminal, so we assign him that role. And we still have 1 innocent to find. But we don't need Ruby's clue anymore. Sia says that both criminals above Uma are connected. So there's 2 criminals above Uma and 3 people who could be criminals, but only one of those 3 is connected to any of the other 2. That's Luigi. So he has to be one of the criminals, and the second criminal is either going to be Franco or Peter. Now we don't need Sia's clue because we have the tags. Vince says that each row has at least 1 criminal. Okay. So what do we know? Oh, we know that there are exactly 2 criminals in column A. So those 2 criminals are the ones above Uma, which makes Uma an innocent. And if each row has at least 1 criminal, which row so far has no criminals? I guess row 2. But we don't know who could be the criminal here. Uma says that an odd number of innocents in column B neighbors Nancy. In column B, there's 3 people neighbor Nancy. And we know that there's only 1 innocent total in column B, right? So there's 1 innocent neighboring Nancy here. And that's the single innocent for column B. So Barrett, who is not neighboring Nancy, couldn't be an innocent. Now Barrett says that there's only 1 innocent in between Kita and him. So the innocent is either going to be Gabe or Martin. So we tag them as such. And we know that Kita is not that innocent. So she's a criminal. Now we don't need Uma or Barrett's clue anymore. So we're still in the lookout for row 2 having... Oh, but row 2, yeah, has to have a criminal, right? I'm thinking about innocents for some reason. Kita says there are exactly 2 innocents in row 1. So we need the second one. There's only Ed left, so he has to be the second one. What else? There are exactly 2 innocents in row 1. We don't need that anymore. Only 1 row has exactly 2 innocents. I don't think I've read Luigi's clue before. But now we know that only 1 row has 2 innocents, and that's row 1. So we know that row 5 couldn't have a second one, which means Zoe is a criminal. So now Zoe says there's an odd number of instances neighboring Martin. Martin has Jason as an instant neighboring him, and he's gonna have a second one here in column A because both Franco and Peter are opposites who neighbor Martin. So one of them is an instant. That makes 2 instants neighboring Martin already. But 2 is not an odd number. We need the third one, who could only be Gabe. We're talking about instants, right? Yeah. Now, Gabe was opposites with Martin, so he's a criminal now. We don't need Zoe's clue anymore. Martin says there are more criminals in row 4 than row 5. So we know the total for row 5, that's 3. So that means that row 4 has to have more than that. That makes everybody in row 4 a criminal. And Peter was opposites with Franco, so now we know that Franco is an instant. And we knew from Vance that each row has at least one criminal, which means that row 2 has to have K be a criminal so that it can have at least one. Now K says there are 6 instances total on the whole board. And so far we have 5 up here and 6 with Uma, so that makes all C a criminal. We are done the puzzle. Very nice. Okay, so did I take less time in this puzzle than yesterday? That's funny, but it was a quick one. I feel like from the percentages from yesterday's, maybe there's a lot of first-timers also solving the puzzle, so that does influence the percentages and the solve time. But since I took longer in that one, I don't think it was as easy as it was supposed to be. But we don't care about the difficulty. What we care about is having fun and doing the puzzle here, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll leave you here for today, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Clues by Sam. Bye bye.